Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. XRP becomes the coin of the day, leading social and market activity. Guys, one of the most prominent coins being talked about in the crypto space, leading cryptocurrency analytics platform Lunar Crush has selected XRP as its coin of the day. Lunar Crush noted that XRP was automatically selected based on relative leading social and market activity over time. So guys, we've been getting metrics from these types of organizations, Lunar Crush and some others, and XRP has been considered the coin of the day based on social media activity. We do have one of the most talked about cryptocurrencies. If you are, part of the XRP community, you probably already know this. XRP was automatically selected based on relative leading social and market activity over time. So their Galaxy score here, 46 out of 100, and alt rank is 10 out of 4,481. Big news here. I mean, Ripple and XRP have got a lot going for it, but also a lot surrounding it. The narrative is becoming more interesting as the days go on. Right now, XRP is trading at roughly around 48 cents. Let's just throw a price label up here, 48 cents, give or take. We did see the price come down a little bit. This is the chart on the daily. Here, let me throw it on the hourly so you guys can see. We did see it come down a little bit, but really we haven't seen too much movement, just continuing this pattern, this vacillating up and down, really just kind of waiting for that blast off point, breaking away from that Nike swoosh pattern. But the other thing I should mention is that XRP once again has emerged as the clear front runner in cryptocurrency focused investment products. So we are still seeing institutions purchasing and investing in XRP. In the latest report released by CoinShares, XRP has once again emerged as the clear front runner in cryptocurrency focused investment products, experiencing a significant surge in inflows with a valuation of about $1.1 million for the week. XRP has achieved one of the most impressive results this year. So a few weeks ago, we were also seeing XRP kind of hitting it out of the park. Number one in inflows this week alone, we did see an investment, $1.1 million collectively. You can see down here, XRP on the week, 1.1, compared to other assets where we're seeing money move out of these particular coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum. They're looking at multi-assets here. People have been investing in Cardano and other cryptocurrencies. Tron is down to about $400,000. So it's interesting, the psychology. I mean, Cardano is another one of those cryptocurrencies that people are investing in. Clearly, it has now retraced into a level of support or a demand zone. But, the other thing is that the SEC is cracking down on this coin and a handful of others. So, investor strategies, sounds like they're mixing it up a bit. Fortunate for us, though, XRP still holding strong, $1.1 million. What about the king cryptocurrency, guys? Let's bring up Bitcoin here real quickly. And as you guys can see, Bitcoin holding at $26,000, almost $26,800 per coin. But still really nothing to write home about. Throwing it on the hourly, you guys can see we did move up a little bit yesterday, breaching that 27,000 mark, although we have seen Bitcoin retrace back down. So this is interesting. I mean, I've been seeing on Twitter people already talking about the Bitcoin halving, which is not going to be happening for another year or so, just under a year. But another milestone Bitcoin has reached once again, its dominance has topped 50%. This is another one here from Michael Branch. So Bitcoin, guys, has reached 50% market dominance for the first time in 2 years. And so, if we take a look at the BTC dominance chart, that would be BTC.D. And we click on that, BTC.D, click on that. You guys can see the Bitcoin dominance has increased. Now, we've talked a little bit about Bitcoin dominance in the past. And by and large, we don't usually tend to look at Bitcoin dominance until we are in a full-blown bull market or bear cycle to kind of really gauge bottoms and tops. And the 50% mark, it's a psychological level. We did originally breach this level here, which was a sticking point for a while here. That was 48.45%. You guys can see Bitcoin did break through resistance and hold resistance. It was getting very difficult to do. However, we have now seen it breach that, and now Bitcoin is up above 50%, 50.06 to be exact. What does this mean? Well, in the grand scheme of things, does it indicate anything? Last time we did see those types of highs, we saw them at the beginning of September 2019 and at the beginning of January 2021. So if we correlate that with the Bitcoin price chart, can we see anything of note? Okay, the beginning of September 2019 was in and around here, and the beginning of January 2021 was in and around here, give or take. It was December. It was in and around here. So we were coming off a rally in 2019 and then retracing a bit when we saw Bitcoin hit that dominance peak. Of course, this is going to be in relation to altcoins. So depending on what the altcoin market does, that's where the Bitcoin dominance chart becomes more important. And here we're seeing, Bitcoin almost reaching all-time high. So nothing that I can really see that correlates to anything price related. Nevertheless, it is something that traders are noticing. It does mean that Bitcoin alone accounts for half of crypto's total $1.1 trillion market cap. Bitcoin's current market capitalization stands at about $519 billion. Notably, Bitcoin's market dominance has surged by more than 10.5% since November 2022. And they're given some reasons for that. We are seeing more industry players getting into Bitcoin, and even BlackRock did recently file that Bitcoin ETF. So that, I think, on its own speaks to the fact that we are going to see more players getting into this space. And, even the XRP numbers right now, what was it? It wasn't that article. It was this article here. The 1.1 million in the last week, guys, that is going to look like chump change in the coming months and maybe year and a half or so, once that bull run is in full swing. So I was mentioning ADA and how that particular coin has fallen into a demand zone or level of support. Algorand is another one that has just been decimated over the last little while. And you guys can see Algorand also coming into support. What about XLM, guys? XLM right now trading just under 8 cents. So, a lot of these altcoins you can see, and I mean, it is reflected in the Bitcoin dominance, not so directly, more indirectly, but you can see a lot of these altcoins, not all of them, but a lot of them are poised to be purchased up right now at a discount, something that I do talk about on my Patreon. And the real world utility as well, on the same token, is ramping up. Mastercard just submitted a fresh trademark application for crypto technology. So check this out. Patent attorney Mike Condutis discovered the application, which suggests that Mastercard plans to develop software optimized for Bitcoin and blockchain transactions. Additionally, the company aims to facilitate crypto-based transactions by reducing connections between virtual asset service providers. Boom goes the dynamite. Mastercard is continuing to move into crypto. The payment processor has filed a trademark application claiming plans for software for crypto and blockchain transactions and interconnecting virtual asset service providers for crypto transactions. Of course, we know Mastercard has not been shy to integrate into crypto. A forward-thinking company has to keep up with the likes of Visa and the others. Details have been revealed about creating a downloadable application program interface designed to verify transactions inside blockchain networks and ease the handling or trading of cryptocurrencies. So again, guys, despite the negativity and the negative narrative here, we are seeing big companies getting into cryptocurrency. And again, this is the total market cap, guys. This is just the beginning of that bull run. Locking into your positions now or very, very soon probably is not a bad idea because it's looking as though market is going to continue to rally upward. And so get this, the IMF just released a report. This entire article speech from the IMF is a description of RippleNet and XRP. This coming from Utility FTW here on Twitter. The cherry on top is how this is written by none other than Tobias Adrian, Counselor and Director of the Monetary and Capital Markets Department, IMF Rabat, Morocco, who has a foothold in Morocco's cross-border payments. Well, Ripple with the MENA bank Attijari Wafa, and who governs Attijari Wafa? Well, that would be the central bank of Morocco, Bank Al Maghrib. And Bank Al Maghrib worked with the IMF to deliver this speech. So some clear-cut connections there. Wanted to thank Utility FTW. And guys, here is the speech, okay, from the International Monetary Fund directly, exploring cross-border and domestic payments and contracting platforms. Join the IMF Bank Al Maghrib High-Level Policy Roundtable on Central Bank Digital Currencies. Here's the speech by Tobias Adrian. And so I will link this in the description of the video if you guys want to read further. There are some interesting connections here, guys, which do in fact even support the IMF's initial claim that XRP and XLM are considered or will be considered or are considered, I guess, even though we're technically seeing the price fluctuate, are considered stable coins. The future of cross-border payments, so just a little bit here, cross-border payments are more complicated than payments within a single country. They involve the exchange of value between parties located in different jurisdictions, as we know. And then he gives an example of a Moroccan ceramics business, discussing down here the cost, sluggishness, and opacity of cross-border payments comes with limited infrastructure. Of course, we know Ripple does solve for this, not just Ripple Ripple, but other payment platforms as well. Again, it is a lengthy speech that I will put down in the description of the video for you. So these connections to Morocco, okay, the IMF and Tobias Adrian specifically, all pointing in some capacity to Ripple and XRP. This one from Merlin Crypto Future Invest here on Twitter. Would this be something like what Ripple and XRP have now been bringing into being now with the Medico partnership and liquidity pools of currencies / stablecoins, i.e. USDC, and it's an XRP token? It's looking as though all things are becoming apparent, that we are now seeing the connections, guys. Remember, too, Ripple has been working with central banks since as early as, well, at least this is when this was documented, as early as 2017. This one from Anders here on Twitter. Ripple's work with the IMF and central banks goes back a long time. Ripple hosts world's central bank to explore next generation of payments. Okay, Ripple recently gathered over 24 central banks from around the world to explore how new technologies enable the next generation of payments. Again, this was back from 2017. They have been working with the International Monetary Fund, and even as early as 2018 or 2019, I want to say, they have had a partnership with up to 50 central banks. I think now it's closer to 80 or 90, if I am not mistaken. And to give you guys a little more context, this one from the ISO Goat, retweeting out ISO 20022's tweet, Ripple's Antoinette O'Gorman presenting to the IMF on cybersecurity and the XRP ledger. Listen to this.
Aware of that. But let's just take it one step further. Even if we did introduce AML regulation that was globally applicable to all institutions, all digital currency exchanges, irrespective of jurisdiction, I want to tell you, it won't really, it's not going to be able to effectively handle the transaction risk, because all transactions are happening underneath, on the blockchain, underneath these digital currency exchanges. The transactions that are going through the exchanges, yes, they're going to be monitoring that type of activity, but who is monitoring the transactions that are conducted on the blockchains themselves? There is no financial institution today, there's no company today, with the possible exception of Ripple Labs, that has been required by regulators to monitor and report on suspicious activities that are being conducted on the blockchain. Digital wallets. They can be established on the blockchain by anyone from anywhere. They don't have to be opened through a digital currency exchange. They have global reach once they're opened for instant access to cross-border transfers, and they're easily accessible via the internet. I want to give you an idea. This is what a digital wallet address looks like on a blockchain. I've given you an example here of a Ripple wallet address here, and there's a Bitcoin wallet address. That's what you see on a blockchain. The cryptocurrencies are transferred from one address to another address, and in most cases, there's no other additional identifying information associated with those wallets. You can't even determine with any degree of confidence where those wallets are located because of IP address spoofing. It masks where the sender is based, and it shows that it's coming from a different location. So what was Ripple going to do? You see hundreds of thousands of these addresses all over XRP Ledger, and at Ripple we had to connect allegations of unusual activity, thefts, crime, phishing scams, pyramid schemes. Users reported into us alleged illegal activity. We opened a repository for them to deposit their reports, and we use that then to create an investigation and to try and link all of this suspicious activity to identify culprits, to identify high-level patterns of activity on XRP Ledger that could potentially be suspicious given the information that we had available to us.
So I do apologize, that clip was a little fast. It was recorded in, I guess, 1.5 times speed. But I think you guys get the gist. One of the points here that I wanted to mention, Ripple, one of the only companies that are monitoring cybersecurity on the ledger. So, of course, good for central banks, and the IMF obviously has picked up on that since. So let's get back to Tobias Adrian, guys. Here are a few clips, and I don't know if I'm going to play them or not. Tobias Adrian in the same room as Brad Garlinghouse, and in the same room, virtual room, as David Schwartz, all speaking about domestic and international cross-border settlement. And you know what? I'll just leave these clips in the description of the video. I think it's going to get too long if I play everything that I have here. But David Schwartz, essentially, this is one continuous clip, 1:15 and 1:36 of David Schwartz explaining essentially what the XRP ledger does, which I'm sure a lot of you guys already know by now. But over here, you guys can see there's a screen grab of Tobias Adrian sitting in that virtual room during this presentation. Not to mention Brad Garlinghouse's relationship with the IMF and Ripple, I mean, by extension, Ripple's relationship to the IMF. Note this picture, and I've showed this picture on this channel in the past, but some people here in the XRP community have been pointing out even more. I haven't taken a look at this photo for a while, but here's Jess Chang, IMF FinTech Counsel, used to work at Ripple. I just did a video on Jess Chang yesterday. If you guys didn't see that, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. And of course, we got Brad Garlinghouse, we got Christine Lagarde, the head of the IMF at that point in time. Not to mention Ross Leckow, part of the IMF, and you guys can see him standing right over here. So how does this connect to Tobias Adrian? Tobias Adrian reckons one global CBDC platform, our blueprint for a new class of platforms, would ensure greater interoperability, efficiency, and safety in cross-border payments, as well as in domestic financial markets, guys. This was a presentation he did all the way back in 2019, the same day that this photo was taken here. This one courtesy of Danny Dark here on Twitter. Listen to this.
So our first panelist is Tobias Adrian, who is the financial counselor and the director of the Monetary and Capital Markets Department of the IMF.
Great, thank you so much. Just a year ago, all the talk was about crypto assets, Bitcoins, and its multiple evolutions. And today, I'm going to shift and talk more about e-money. In particular, I'm going to focus on stable coins and how they relate to central bank digital currency and what it might mean for the international financial system.
Most of you know about XRP and the other things that Ripple is doing. He's been a CTO in the industry for some time. In prior work, he did encrypted crowd storage and encrypted enterprise messaging and many other areas where he brings expertise. So I'll turn it over to Tobias for 20 minutes. Thanks, Tobias.
Yeah, wonderful. It's very nice to see many friends online. What you want to use is a common ledger, right? So distributed ledgers have many problems. The lack of finality, the lack of identity. So to use new technologies for policy purposes, having a common ledger, perhaps run by the central bank or by an agency appointed by the central bank.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there as a bit of a supercut of Tobias Adrian talking about things related to central bank digital currencies, the IMF and XRP specifically, a multi-currency exchange and contracting platform, okay? And the author and editor, the head guy here, Tobias Adrian, another publication from recently, November 2022. You guys can see here some more documentation. I will leave this in the description of the video if you guys want to read further. The Bullet Train report from September of 2022, new tokens and platforms may transform cross-border payments and potentially much more. So this guy is in the know. And it was only a matter of time, I think, before the IMF released something this important. Now, it's interesting because we also have Ross Lakow. Remember when he and Brad Garlinghouse were on this panel at the Singapore FinTech Festival? I think this was 2018 or 2019. Listen to this.
Can you see those? Oh, there's 2 votes.
Let me try.
Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? Oh, they're over here. That's easier. You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Remember, I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very conservative about these things.
I love that clip. Ross Lakow not letting the cat out of the bag. However, fast forward 4 or 5 years in the future, and we've got something really different now to take into account and to maybe look at from a different perspective. Another one here from Utility FTW. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, guys, because here they talk about in this paper solutions that leverage stable coins. Okay, they mentioned stable coins right here in the paper for fast and inexpensive cross-border payments have also grown recently. And take a look at this footnote here. 16, what are they referring to as stable coins? Going back to Stellar and Ripple. For example, Stellar and Ripple. So again, not backing away from that claim that XRP and XLM are going to be stablecoins, will be stablecoins at some point in time. Some people still wondering how the heck are we going to see XRP and XLM become stable in the coming years? Well, if they shoot up to that high enough price and maintain stability based on supply and demand fundamentals, well, we could see an XRP hover at around, I don't know, $589, maybe slip down to $588.75, maybe slip up to $591.26, but ultimately remain relatively stable, which brings me to this, guys, another one here from Danny Dark, and I got to give credit to Danny Dark. He's come up with a lot of these tweets today. Dear Tobias, what a spellbinding choice, an arrangement of colors. So if you do go through this report, you can see the color scheme that the IMF chose to use: settlement programming, information management, and reserve tokens, green, purple, and a yellowy orange. Well, where have we seen that before, guys? Is it a coincidence? Tell me down in the comments what you guys think, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.